Welcome to the Natural Health and Healing Show with one of New England's leading nutritionists, Mark Mincola. The show is brought to you by the Good Health Stores in Hanover and Quincy. Call Mark at 781-837-4900 with your health and nutrition questions. Now, here's Mark.
Good evening and welcome. Wonderful to have spring on hand. I think it's the real thing. At least it appears to be for real. Snow's gone, winter's gone, hooray. Hope everybody got out and enjoyed a little bit of this gorgeous weather. And I don't know what we did right in our past lives, but we got 4 good days in a row.
Yeah, we did. It was unbelievable.
You know, I mean, mark it down, folks.
Yeah.
Incredible stuff. Of course, that was the voice, the golden throngs of Catherine Foley from Jarrow Formulas. Welcome.
Good evening.
And, you know, good time of year to have a conversation or two about allergies. Mm-hmm. A lot of folks saying, yeah, it is indeed spring. Love the spring, but sneezing, 'tis the season to be sneezing. There's a whole lot of watery eyes and all that stuff happening out there. So wanted to give folks a leg up on the allergy season. We're going to talk a little bit about quercetin and a number of other possibilities and some interesting studies we're going to chat about and get people sort of prepared to boot up the immune system and produce their own natural antihistamines and fight allergies in safe ways. You know, a lot of people who are taking over-the-counter or prescriptive medications, you know, even the allergy medicines. Yeah. A lot of problems associated, a lot of side effects.
Yeah.
A lot of those medicines sort of artificially stimulate epinephrine.
Yeah.
And folks say, geez, you know, I didn't know that my allergy medicine would increase my blood pressure, elevate my blood pressure, and sort of increase my stress hormones. I get edgy. I can't sleep well. And, you know, I think people really need to know there are safe, viable options for fighting allergies.
And one of the things with a lot of the allergy meds like Sudafed or what have you, they really dry up your sinuses a lot. And there's, you know, a mucus layer on your sinuses, and it's there basically to catch the allergens or bacteria or viruses so that they don't have access to the membranes and therefore access to your body. So it's a very important protective immune system layer. And when you use Sudafed regularly, you decrease your immunity in that aspect as well.
Well, and the other thing that people need to also consider is that there's so many people with adrenal exhaustion these days. Well, I mean, there's so many people that are, you know, pounding inordinate amounts of coffee and caffeine and you know, overtaxing themselves and you know, they're up early in the morning, they're out the door, and they're doing battle all day, and they get home and they still have an awful lot to do, and you know, they collapse at the end of the night, and the wear and tear of adrenal exhaustion and the wear and tear due to stress is really a common issue these days. And I think people need to understand too that a lot of these allergy medicines that they're taking are really in many cases contributing to their adrenal sensitivity and to their stressful chemistries.
Right, absolutely.
You know, because again, they produce, the manner in which they produce the antihistamine effect is to stimulate the body's production of cortisol, and that's produced by those adrenal glands. And when they stress out those adrenal glands, hey, the good news is you're not sneezing as badly. The bad news is you're twice as fatigued, and not sleeping well, and all kind of jagged at the nervous system level, and you know, not doing yourself any favors going that route.
Absolutely, and allergies are becoming so prominent too. A lot of people are developing severe allergies, and I'm sure we'll talk about it. But the intestinal system and probiotics are really important too for helping your body to deal with the allergens that are presented with it.
And of course, we're not only going to discuss natural supplement-oriented strategies for safely fighting allergies and boosting up immunity, but we're going to give you effective strategies, ones that work.
Remember that caller that called in? It was almost last year now, last allergy season or at the end of it, and he was so excited because he was using quercetin. And
I remember that.
I was so surprised, and that still to this day makes me really.
I think we ought to ask Larry to find that in the archives, to dig that up in the next 2 or 3 minutes. Maybe.
It was so great. But that's the kind of response that people can get when they finally find a solution that not only makes them feel better, but doesn't have some of the effects of what they were feeling, that anxiety and that just their nerves on edge kind of thing from traditional allergy meds.
Right, and I think the other component here is we're going to share natural supplements, and that typically means that those supplements are derived from natural substances that are kind of like food grade.
Absolutely.
And quercetin is one of those things that is indeed it's a flavonoid.
Yeah.
It's a member of the flavone family, and hey, no different than what you'd find in grapefruit and what you'd find in yellow onions and red onions. We're going to talk about all that. So there are studies as well that indicate that the natural flavonoid response and the quercetin that you can obtain in onions and in grapes and citrus have really much the same effect.
Right.
So, these foods that I keep drilling about all the time are really your first line of defense. They're your first medicines.
Yeah.
And I say, to a great extent, it starts by addition through subtraction. Subtract all those junky foods that are using up your empty calories.
Right.
Replace them with the foods that by nature were designed to replenish your nutrients that keep you from sneezing. So it was already nicely designed by Mother Nature, but you got to basically pay attention out there. You got to work at it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I know Jarl Formulas has a couple interesting things regarding quercetin and probably some really nice anti-allergenesis solutions as well.
Well, the quercetin is one of the best products out there for allergies, and it works really quickly.
It really does.
You can take one capsule and about, within a half an hour or 45 minutes, you feel it. And one of the things associated with allergies is kind of the foggy head, kind of sleepy aspect of allergies. So a lot of people do have allergies, but they just don't realize it. They just think that they're overtired and sleepy. Right. So quercetin can kind of clear up that foggy headedness and give you a little bit of energy too, as it down regulates those histamines in your body.
There's no question about it, and I would even challenge people, a little interesting quercetin test here, that during the periods where you're feeling most allergenic, to sit down and have 2 pieces of citrus.
Wow.
And you'll temporarily kind of feel your head clear.
Yeah.
Almost like someone opened a window and turned on the turned on the fresh air or something like that. It just kind of clears your head. Obviously, in a food form like that, it's only going to take place for a short period of time. But the object of it is to really, I think, collect and concentrate these foods in your diet, build up these quercetin levels, and obviously to back it up with a little bit of supplementation as well, because we're talking about 400, 500, 600 milligrams, which is pretty much a standard capsule dose.
Yeah. And
I would recommend they take 3 of those a day.
Yeah, whenever allergy season comes, I just keep it in the car with me and take it. And believe it or not, I've been taking quercetin for a couple of years, and I've noticed year after year my allergies are actually just getting better.
Yeah, better and better and better.
So I don't really need it that much anymore.
And I think that, one of the questions that I always get is it safe for kids? Because a lot of kids nowadays have such depleted immune systems, and they're sneezing and they got the runny eyes and they're sick all winter, and then they go into the spring and then they have the allergies because they have such compromised immune systems from all the antibiotics and the bad food.
Right.
And is the quercetin safe for kids? It sure is, absolutely.
Yeah, it is, again, because it's a food product. And, ours is a capsule, it's a powder. And for, kids that are, too young to swallow capsules, there's another company out there called Source Naturals, and they make a liquid quercetin. Right. And I think that's a great product for kids, I
did not know that. Source Naturals.
Yeah, it's a liquid, it's a dropper. I'm not sure how the taste is, but you could always put it in orange juice.
Sure.
Which is a great catalyst for it,
That's a fantastic tip. So, folks have children out there, and question one, can kids safely utilize quercetin as a natural, safe, effective antihistamine, anti-allergenic medicine? Sure they can, absolutely safely and effectively. And as we just found out from Catherine, Source Naturals makes a very easy to take form that kids can get in a drop or liquid form. So,
and that way you can meter the dosage too. You
Absolutely.
know, so I mean that's what's really great about the liquid form is you can meter the dosage according to body weight.
Fantastic news. Okay, and yours comes in powder form. How many milligrams?
Ours is 500 milligrams. It's 100 capsules. So one bottle really does last me the whole season. And one of the things about quercetin is it's really good for the cardiovascular system too.
Right.
So, and that's actually in the U.S. That's what the FDA-approved health claim for quercetin is for the cardiovascular system.
And we're going to talk more about that very issue and a whole lot more interesting possibilities for quercetin. And we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Right in our area, we are fortunate to have one of the top martial arts schools in the country, Personal Best Karate. Personal Best has been recognized for their community involvement, professional staff development, character building programs, and exciting educational curriculum. Personal Best stands at the top of their industry. 5 locations offering personalized professional instruction. Not sure if karate is right for you? At no obligation, the staff at Personal Best will guide you in a private introductory program to see if karate is indeed the right fit to help you achieve your goals and meet your needs. What does karate at Personal Best teach you? Character building, success habits, helps you get in shape, relieve stress, self-control, setting goals, and, of course, self-defense. Personal Best's goal is to create successful, contributing members of society through the practice of the martial arts at Personal Best. Mr. Chris Rappold is, of course, the founder of Personal Best Karate. He tells me his greatest joy of all is to see the personal transformation in each and every student. Bring out your best with Personal Best Karate. Telephone number 508-285-5425. That's 508-285-5425. Locations in Norton, Foxborough, Southeaston, Franklin, and Taunton. That's Personal Best Karate. This segment is being sponsored by Good Health Natural Foods. Good Health is a well-established organic specialty food market as well as a vitamin and sports nutrition shop. Good Health is a family-owned business passionately committed to giving back to the neighborhoods of Boston and the South Shore. The Maturos and the entire Good Health family continue to make an indelible impact on the communities they serve. There are currently 2 extraordinary stores, 1627 Hancock Street, Quincy, Mass., and 219 Columbia Road, Route 53 in Hanover, Mass. For everything natural, organic, and wheat or gluten-free, it's Good Health Natural Foods, open 7 days a week. In Quincy, 617-773-4925. In Hanover, 781-826-0808. That's Good Health Natural Foods. Alrighty, welcome back in, and hopefully your Sunday evening is nice and relaxing, and you're not sitting around the house sneezing and rubbing your eyes, because, boy, you really notice a difference. I mean, just over the past 3 or 4 days, everything came out.
Well, we had a really wet couple of weeks leading up into the really nice weather, so it's going to be a really intense allergy
things
season.
They're blooming out there. It's just amazing. They're popping. So we're going to talk with you this evening about some interesting natural solutions for doing battle with allergies and really taking the pressure off. A lot of people, as you point out, Catherine, have that real congested head and throat and chest. Just they may as well have a flu, you know. Some people really get knocked down. Other people have that nagging sort of cerebral kind of effect with allergies, where they just can't concentrate, can't seem to think. Can't cut through it. They feel tired. Maybe I'm just tired. No, chances are better than good, especially on a day like this when things are starting to break out in terms of a lot of the greenery, etc. out there. You're probably actually taking on an awful lot of allergenesis, and it's probably exhausting the daylights out of you. But there are natural solutions. Again, that we've been talking about quercetin, and that's spelled Quercetin. For those that may not be familiar, it's thought of as the superior natural antihistamine, and it's often called the king of flavonoids. And flavonoids, I always said, sounded like one of those Star Trek terms, you know.
Yeah.
We're being chased by the flavonoids. But all it is, folks, it's vitamin P. Vitamin P was actually first discovered by in 1930 by Nobel laureate Szent-Györgyi, and he really noticed right off the bat. He coined the term vitamin P. A lot of people said, "I didn't know there was a vitamin P." Well, there is. You think of your vitamin C. Here's your orange, and then the pulp that's inside, that little white pulp that everybody takes great care to throw away, is very important not to throw away. There's 1,000 milligrams of vitamin P within the citrus that you consume. Don't throw it away because it is a vitamin. It really has some remarkable properties, but again, discovered in 1930 by Nobel laureate Albert Szent-Györgyi, and he reported on their value as a capillary insulator and a vascular fortifier as far back as 1930. And of course, in 1930, falling on largely deaf ears, 1968, the FDA deemed these wonderful flavonoids as being irrelevant. Which sounds like something the FDA would have done. So for 30 years, not much was heard of. But then over the past 30, well, I should say from 1968 to roughly around the turn of this millennium, there are 30-year period of remarkable research. And now we, of course, know a great deal about flavonoids and about quercetin, and they're back in a big way. And obviously, thanks to the science that has done the remarkable research on it, there's been great work done at the National Cancer Institute even. There was a study published in the National Cancer Institute that those with the highest dietary intake of quercetin and of these flavonoids had demonstrated a 20-fold lower cancer risk than those folks who had the lower consumptions. So folks who do eat their flavonoid-rich foods, and as we said, onions are very rich in these flavonoids called quercetin, for example, flavones, which are a member of the family of flavonoids, vitamin P, again, if you want to call it vitamin P. But grapes, of course, citrus, very, very high, and even squash is actually very high. But the folks who, again, according to the NCI study, who have the highest concentrated amounts of vitamin P in their diet from these wonderful fresh fruits and vegetables have a 20-fold decrease in risk for total cancers.
Yeah, and it's interesting, a lot of these citrus fruits tend to enter our diet in the summertime and in the spring. So, the ecology of the environment is kind of providing for the nutrients that you need to deal with.
Absolutely true. Also, they did some research at Cornell University very recently, and they found out that there's an enzyme that actually antagonizes our cortisone levels. So, we have this adrenal hormone in our body called cortisone, folks, and that is your body's natural antihistamine. And what they found out at Cornell is that the flavonoids, again, the vitamin P, as we call them, from these fruits and vegetables, actually have the capability of neutralizing different enzymes that actually shut off your cortisol levels. So your cortisone, which you need as an antihistamine, wants to be in abundance when it's allergy season. Unfortunately, the more stressed, the more exhausted, the more hard work, multitasking lifestyles that we lead, the lower our cortisone levels. The more coffee we drink, the more sugar we eat, the lower our cortisone levels. So obviously we're not equipped to fight allergies all that well. But these Cornell researchers said not to worry because these flavonoids really antagonize the enzymes that break down your natural allergy fighting properties.
That's amazing.
Good stuff. So when we talk about quercetin, we talk about something that is very easy to obtain, no side effects, something that we obviously can increase in our chemistry by the consumption of onions, by the consumption of fruits, and many of the fruits, not just the citrus fruits, but grapes, as we said, a lot of the berries, etc., are very, very rich. But some of the properties of quercetin in this flavonoid complex, anti-inflammation, as well as anti-allergenesis, antiviral, antibacterial, antimicrobial, anti-radical. They break down radical scavenger, or they are radical scavengers. They break down free radicals. They actually also have been found in a number of different studies in Europe in particular to neutralize toxic metals.
Yeah.
So people have a lot of aluminum or copper or beryllium or lead. These flavonoids will neutralize them.
Can I just say something?
Sure, yeah.
You know how the use of compact fluorescent light bulbs is really popular
beryllium.
right now? Yeah, there's not only beryllium but a lot of mercury in these compact fluorescents. And so if folks are going out there and they think they're doing the right thing to conserve energy to install the compact fluorescents, look for ones that say low mercury, because once we start throwing out all of these light bulbs, we're going to start loading mercury into our soil.
Absolutely true. You're absolutely right about that. That's a great point. And also, like people don't realize that things like neon, when you're near neon, a lot of neon lights, that gives off a beryllium gas.
Right.
Or that there's mercury that is emitted from computer screens.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're getting hit with toxic metals. So you want to get your vitamin P levels up, folks. You eat a lot of yellow onions and a lot of grapes and a lot of citrus.
It is just important. We don't realize how many toxins are in our environment, and when we use something like quercetin, you're striking the balance a little bit better because it has so many properties to it: anti-inflammatory, cleansing, antioxidant. So you're just really doing something to make your body just feel amazing.
Well, and as bad as histamines are, they make your eyes water, they make you spaced out and tired, and make you sneeze and all that horrible stuff. But as bad as they are as inflammatory agents, the leukotrienes, leukotriene B4 agents are considered 1,000 times stronger than histamines.
Right.
And again, vitamin P will neutralize, the quercetin will neutralize and antagonize these really bad inflammatories, these very powerful leukotriene inflammatories that can cause a lot worse problems, migraine, headaches, etc.
So, they do.
So again, the idea is you want to think, especially this time of year. Now, you were saying you take it year-round, is that right?
I do. Sometimes quercetin really helps me with some of my food allergies too.
Great.
So it just in mold allergies, any sort of inhaled allergies, it's really, really good for.
Right, and we said that generally you're looking at 400 to 600 milligram doses, and we usually recommend 3 a day. Yep. One important tip that I'd like to share with everybody, though, is it's not very easily absorbed. Quercetin is not very readily absorbed. I usually suggest, and I've seen actually interesting research on this, that if you combine chewable bromelain, the pineapple enzyme, which are delicious. Keep them away from the kids. But if you get a pineapple enzyme tablet, or bromelain as we like to call it, and you take a bromelain tablet with your quercetin, your absorption will go up 90%, 95%. So you'll absorb it much, much better. Also, take it with a meal. Important to take it with a meal because it will break down as part of the digestive process because it is a food. It's a food-grade supplement, but it's really a food. Other things, that it's been noted for, vitamin P, of course, insulates the capillaries against vascular fragility. So a lot of people who, when I do a lot of my patients over the years who have had strokes and have had blood clot problems, and of course they're put on Coumadin and a lot of the, the blood thinners.
Sure.
And I always remind people this, that if you're on a blood thinner is not just going to thin the blood, it's going to thin the blood vessels.
Absolutely.
Okay, it doesn't distinguish any difference. It's not a smart bomb. It's not going to just thin the blood clotting and leave your vessels alone. It will thin both the blood and the blood vessel, the blood highways. Therefore, a lot of folks who are on blood thinners like that actually become, ironically, more susceptible to stroke. And that's kind of a crazy paradox because if you're over-medicated, those capillaries will rupture and break down on you, which is, again, a really important marker for vitamin P. Get your vitamin P.
There's this really amazing language or dialogue that happens inside of the blood vessels, and it's like a volumetric flow meter that the lining of the blood vessel walls do to talk to the pressure and the flow of the blood inside, and they talk back and forth to each other, and the blood vessel walls or the endothelial tissue will either increase its density or decrease its density to, talk back and forth to that flow. It's an amazing dynamic process. But
the osmotic process.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly what you were saying is that blood thinners basically down-regulate that osmotic pressure.
Yeah, they sort of overdo a good thing,
Right.
and as they do so, they thin down these capillary walls, and then they'll rupture and they'll hemorrhage much more readily.
Right.
So we always tell people, look, if you're going to be on blood thinners, okay, fine. Make sure you eat the inner pulp of citrus if you can, if it's not contraindicated with the medicine that you are on. Also, the idea of using quercetin, the idea of using bioflavonoid complex,
Yeah.
which you can purchase at the health food store as well.
Yep.
And that's really a vitamin P complex.
Mm-hmm.
And that will, once again, as we were saying a little while ago, protect and insulate those capillary walls.
Right.
It refortifies them so that they don't get so broken down that they can readily hemorrhage and rupture. That's
Right.
really important. Also, bleeding and bruising.
Oh, yeah.
The idea of a lot of folks who bruise easily.
Right.
Many folks ask me all the time, well, what does it mean if you bruise really easily? Well, it generally means that you've got fragile capillaries. These little blood vessels are breaking down because they're not properly insulated because you, my friend, are deficient in vitamin P.
Yeah.
So, again, these flavonoids are so very important for that. And once again, let me remind you yet again that it all starts with diet.
Yeah.
And not to be filling up those calories with empty calories. Using the foods that nature already had in mind for you to replenish these nutrients so that you can keep thick, healthy, vibrant blood vessel walls.
Absolutely. And just as another aside, because health and wellness is, yes, it's dietary supplements, it's food. There's so many components to it, but it is also environment as well.
You betcha.
And I work with the New England Wildflower Society.
Oh, great.
And one of their major missions is to educate people on indigenous plants. And one of the problems, and maybe one of the reasons why allergies are getting so out of control is, during planting season, folks go down to Home Depot and they get all of these flowering trees or, plants that are actually not indigenous to New England. And so what you're doing is you're actually bringing in allergies that you have no previous history of and presenting them right in front of you and right on your property. And so it's very important to make very good choices about the plants that you bring into your environment. And also, bringing plants that are not indigenous is just bad for our ecological system
something,
in general.
it's a great point, Catherine, and that's really what allergies are, whether we're talking about food allergies or environmental allergies.
Right.
Allergies are representative of chemistries that are introduced to your body that your body doesn't recognize.
Right.
So it blows the whistle on them.
Yeah.
And it has to get reactive immunologically.
Right.
So it's only going to readily pass those foods and those environmental elements that it recognizes.
Right. And New England Wildflower Society folks can look at that online, and they will have a listing of all the nurseries in your area that will help you to make good choices about the plants that you do plant on your land, on your property, so that they are indigenous New England wild plants.
Great stuff. All right, we're going to take a little short break, pay a couple bills around the block here, and we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Catherine from Jarrow Formulas. We're happy to announce our new partnership with Dr. Mark Mincola. When we started out in this industry, our intentions were to bring good quality nutrition, cutting-edge science, and reasonably priced products to the market, and also encourage people to take an active role in their own health and wellness. Jarrow Formulas has been in business for over 20 years and is considered an industry leader. Jarrow is incredibly active in consumers' rights to access dietary supplements and creating good quality manufacturing standards for our industry. When we first met Dr. Mincola, we knew that we had a true partner and an ally in the mission of creating a happy, healthy, and wealthy New England through the sharing of knowledge and enthusiasm for health and healing. And we're excited for the world of knowledge that there is that we can share with you all. As we take this journey together with great partners, great energy, and looking forward to a great future for all of those that are encouraged to come along.
Your health is important. Sort out fact from fiction in a relaxed and entertaining setting at the free Women's Health Expo on Saturday, May 24th. This interactive women's health experience is free and open to the public. Event highlights include free health screenings, book signings, door prizes, personal discussions with the nation's leading women's health experts, and over 200 unique health products. A free film festival will feature Ricky Lake's new birth documentary, The business of being born. You can also meet certified nurse midwives, talk to student midwives, and experience what you'll learn in midwifery school at the Become a Midwife Forum from 9 to 11 a.m. The Women's Health Expo is from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, May 24th at the John B. Hines Veterans Memorial Convention Center in Boston. Women of all ages and their families are encouraged to attend. Learn more about the Women's Health Expo at midwife.org/am. That's midwife.org/am.
Alrighty then. Great to be back with you, and we chat just for a moment or two here, of course, about good health natural foods, because we're coming up to our anniversary here on the Natural Health and Healing Show. Every Father's Day we celebrate our radio-versary. Is that a word?
It is now.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if it's our 6th year or 7th year. I mean, someone's going to have to help me out on that. Is that 6 years?
I keep track of you.
All right, very good. So it'll be our 6th birthday, and it'll be in the merry, merry month of June, and Father's Day. And we look forward to that event. But, all these years that we've been here, these 6 years now, would have not, of course, been at all possible without our flagship sponsor, Good Health Natural Foods.
They're the best.
They are the best. And that was the voice of Candida.
Hello. And I think we have Bert on the line. He's going to give us some information. Hello, Bert. You with us?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Larry?
Larry.
Is Larry with us? Is anybody with us? Anyway,
Larry in the house?
Larry, is Bert with us? Larry? Is Larry with Bert? Well, whatever.
Bert and
anyway, when Bert comes on, I have to do this. I've been dying to do this. Hey, Bert.
Hello.
Bert, how are you?
Doing good.
Good man. Good to have you on.
Good to be here.
And tell us a little about what's going on down at Good Health Natural Foods.
Okay, well, Good Health is a great place to be. I, of course, work for them at Good Health Incorporated Natural Foods in the Quincy location. We're open 9 to 9 in Quincy the weekdays, and 9 to 6 on Saturday, and 10 to 6 on Sunday. And I don't know what else to say on the spot.
Well,
but,
we've been talking a little bit. Say hello to Catherine and Candida.
Hey,
Hi.
Why, hello. I recently met Catherine in person, but Candida, we talk quite a bit, and
Yes, we do.
I guess I'm one of the people behind the scenes on what sometimes gets talked about here, the individual products.
Oh, that's great.
And we thank you for your support and your help. I don't know if you noticed tonight's show, Mark's been talking about allergies.
I have heard a little bit. I haven't caught the whole thing, but allergies is such a broad topic. And it's very interesting what the body sometimes recognizes as an allergen, and that just in and of itself is probably a lifetime of study. All the different things that the body sometimes chooses to have trouble with, and it's such an odd topic that the same thing for some people can be healthy, and that for other people can be considered a toxin.
Absolutely. And folks down at Good Health have the benefit of not only shopping down there and getting terrific service, etc., but getting great advice from people like Tony and people like yourself. And we were discussing it before you came on. Have you've studied nutrition, have you not? Or tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, that's the thing is, I have studied it, but more because of all the people like Tony and Ralph who are very knowledgeable there. My background, unfortunately, is not professionally in nutrition, but I have come to learn a lot and pursue a lot of knowledge because of the people I've met through Good Health and under the employment of Good Health. and I just always had a very curious personality, so I try to pick up knowledge wherever I can from the great literature resources that we have at Good Health, as well as a lot of the wonderful online resources.
And there's nothing like the feedback from customers at store level. There's nothing like that, one-on-one, human-to-human interaction that you get with people, with their issues, with their problems, as they, start trying natural medicine and trying supplements, and you see the wonderful results. I mean, you guys are so lucky because you get to see them right there in the store, and they come back and give you their feedback. It's an amazing experience.
Definitely. And of course, individual customers also turn me on to different books or different websites for this kind of knowledge.
Right. So someone coming in now that allergy season is coming up, what would you recommend at Good Health? What are some of the top products there?
Okay. Well, the first one I think of is quercetin, which is done by a lot of different companies, but it's great for helping all allergies because it deals with the actual immune system response to different allergens.
That makes sense.
But are you seeing a lot of customers present with allergy symptoms earlier this year, or what's the scene at the store level?
Well, so you find people in for allergy relief just about any time of the year, because it's not just like
right.
the pollen response, but also of course pets, which are around all year long. But then individual responses depending on food and other things, as well as pollution-based allergens.
Right.
So it can span the year but of course this time of year we do get an increased response to people looking for allergy treatment, but it is something you do see all year round.
Well, and you brought up another great point too, Bert, that there are a variety of symptoms. In fact, some of them most people are not accustomed to associating with allergies, but we have what are called mast cells, of course, as you know, and those mast cells actually will produce inflammatory responses within the lining of tissues. Therefore, folks don't even understand that you can have an allergy floating around out there that actually causes inflammation in your joints. So most people are just aware of the runny eyes, the rhinitis and the sneezing and that sort of thing, but to have achy joints during periods of allergenesis like this from which you breathe outdoors, people don't make that connection, and it's because of mast cell inflammation.
And also sore muscles.
Sore muscles, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You bet, absolutely. And these are all great markers for working with quercetin. And you also mentioned too, you have a variety of different product, other products for allergies besides quercetin.
What are those?
Well, we were going to talk about NAC too, N-acetylcysteine.
N-acetylcysteine is really good for once you get yourself into that congested state.
Right.
N-acetylcysteine is an amino acid, and basically what it does is it breaks up mucus in the upper respiratory layer, but not by drying it up. And that's the key difference between NAC and something like a mucolytic like Mucinex or something like that on the market. It does it by just breaking up the mucus, and so that your body can digest it properly.
Well, cysteine is a high sulfur amino acid, and it really will clear out those lungs. A lot of folks out at the University of California, Los Angeles, back in the 80s, did studies with smokers, and found out that they dramatically speeded up the healing time when people quit smoking, because normally, it takes like 12 years to really clear your lungs after more than 10 years of smoking. So they found that they could cut that time by 50%. With N-acetyl, or with cysteine, anyway.
Yeah.
What, it's like a detox or something?
Yeah, well, it's
a detox?
It is. Well, it is. I mean, it is a mucolytic in and of itself. It does break up mucus in the upper respiratory tract. It is a detox in that it upregulates your glutathione production in your liver.
That's right.
So it is both, actually, and for people, well, it's actually prescribed in Germany for chronic smoker's cough as a pharmaceutical. So it's very widely recognized in Europe for that, and very clinically documented for that. But as far as, some people just have that upper respiratory weakness.
Right.
And so NAC for them is a really great supplement, because you get two components of that. You get the detox component of it, for liver detox, and then you get the respiratory component of it as well.
Well, Bert, let's bring you back in here. Give us an idea about what the latest and greatest is at Good Health Natural Foods right now. Any specials on anything that you really like people to know about?
Well, on this topic, luckily my mind is working tonight. So on allergies, all the NaturBio drops are on sale for, I believe it's $5.99, and those are a common recommendation for allergies. They're a homeopathic drop. And they treat all sorts of things depending on what particular allergy. One of the most popular ones is the mold, dust, and yeast drops. But then there's also a tree pollen, a grass pollen, and a couple of other different formulas.
And those are only $5.99.
Yeah.
That's a great price. Fantastic.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
And homeopathics are great for kids.
Yes, and I recommend those NaturBios every day. Yeah. They're fantastic.
Yeah, that's why I thought I should mention those, because those are a very good choice and rather inexpensive too in the grand scheme of things.
Fantastic.
Well, I definitely appreciate your knowledge base, because I know when I go into Good Health, I don't. I'm a mom of 3. I do follow it with Mark, but you guys make it so simple. Yeah. Like, I go in with a symptom, and they go, okay, do this. I go home, I do it, and it's
I think it's great to have...
Wonderful.
Bert, it's great to have had you on, because I think the listening audience out there can really... we always tell them about Good Health being much more than just a health food store and health food grocery store, that it's a place where people can learn a great deal and people can expand their awareness about what is available out there, thanks to people like you and people like Tony. So they get to hear it firsthand tonight.
Well, thank you. I certainly appreciate the compliment, and I certainly also respect Tony. He's a very knowledgeable guy and knows quite a bit more than me. I know he's actually trained as a naturopath. I forget what school, unfortunately, and so that unfortunately has slipped my mind. But he's certainly very good with herbs, a little knowledge with homeopathy, which in and of itself is something you can study for years. And then also, of course, the basic supplements, vitamins, minerals, amino acids.
And, of course, lest we forget, hats off to Ralph and Diane for taking the time to find people like Bert and Tony to bring them in, because you guys are the difference makers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you. But also, I mean, they also create the environment where people will very quickly start to get interested in the different supplements, depending on what their interest is. Some of the young guys get more interested in, like, the protein and bodybuilding supplements, but then you start to try some of the things and you see how well they work for all sorts of different ailments and remedies, of course, and very quickly even people that aren't intending often do become interested in what we sell and what we actually practice as well.
Right, that's great. You guys are changing lives every single day. That's awesome.
Well, thank you again, of course.
Now, Bert, Mark is having a free seminar this Wednesday, and we're hoping to have you there. It's going to be at the Coastal Church in Hanover from 7 to 9 p.m.
Well, and, unfortunately, I'm in the Quincy store at that time.
Well, we'll have our listeners join us, and I'll get you some flyers. You could pass them out at Good Health. Thanks for being on.
Well, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us, Bert. Keep up the great work.
Why, thank you for having me.
Our pleasure.
Bye.
All right, and that's Bert, of course, from Good Health Natural Foods. Good Health Natural Foods in 2 locations, 1637 Hancock Street, where Bert works. You can call them down there at 617-773-4925, or maybe you want to check them out down in Columbia Road, 219 Columbia Road, Route 53 in Hanover, 781-826-0808. That's Good Health Natural Foods. Good stuff.
Wonderful place to visit.
Yes, indeed. You got some other business to deal with there. What do you got?
Yes, I just want to recap, because you are doing a free presentation for folks that want to learn more about muscle testing and mind medicine.
That's right. And it's going to be this Wednesday at 7 o'clock. And we've had ongoing classes, and we wanted to basically open this one up gratis, free for anybody who's interested and thinks, geez, I'd like to know what these classes are like, but I'm not sure I want to spend the money. Well, you won't have to this Wednesday. Wow. It's on us. So swing by, and
Please pre-register with me, though.
Yes, call Candida 781-834-2728.
And what will they be learning that night? Mind medicine?
Yeah, we're going to talk about how the mind works in terms of the response to virtually everything that you encounter, all stresses, all thoughts, all possibilities, how your mind works and how your muscles respond to what your mind perceives. Yeah. And we're going to show people why muscle testing is so valuable and why you can do it at home. You can learn it very simply, very easily in terms of tapping into and using it as a natural biofeedback response. You want to find out if you're sensitive to a food. We're talking about allergies, environmental things like that. And you can find it out very, very simply. And it's not complicated. So you want to do that, you can join us on this Wednesday evening. And it's on us, folks.
Yep.
Freebie.
7 to 9 at the Coastal Church in Hanover.
And that's, again, your phone number?
781-834-2728.
Very good.
Great. And we have in the works the June 5th event, the Sound and Light Healing presentation.
We're going to be at the Company Theater in Norwell, and I've been working on this one. I've been in the studio. I've been working on these remarkable healing songs now for about a year. And finishing up the studio work, and these are profoundly healing presentations that we're going to be putting together. These songs are very, very powerful songs and a lot of remarkable healing energy in them. But we're going to go right up the scale.
That's right.
And we're going to bathe the chakras, as they say, with sound and light that is basically unified. So you've got like sound and tones of vibration of sound and light. They're going to be showering people in the audience and supporting them and healing them. And last time we did this, people were...
It's overdue. We waited too long.
We did. But, it was astounding. I was so touched because I looked at people as they were walking out. People were laughing and smiling and crying and all kinds of emotional responses.
It was a really touching experience.
It was very powerful.
Because the vibrations, they affect your whole body.
No question about it.
You don't even realize.
And the difference this time around the block is that these songs are fully composed, fully orchestrated. I recorded them, wrote them, played everything on them, and the lyrics are very powerful. They're very, very powerful lyrics. So I look forward to it.
Yeah,
June 5th. And again, same phone number, right?
Yeah,
if people are interested in finding out more, 781-834-2728.
That's June 5th. It's a Thursday evening from 7 to 9.
Yes.
And Catherine will be there as well, so you can meet
Catherine. It's going to be a very special evening. Yes, absolutely. Good point.
Yes.
A lot of people still haven't...
And Bert, I hope.
Bert will be there. Unless it's during work hours at Good Health. Maybe we can get him out of work. We'll talk to Ralph about springing him free.
Ooh, I'll pass.
All right, so back on track here. We're going to talk a little bit of allergy talk. How are your kids doing? Your kids okay with...
Great. They don't have any allergies.
No allergies around your household? Great. Good. Hopefully they're healthy and...
yeah, chicken pox are over.
Chicken pox are over.
The rite of passage.
Oh, I'm telling you.
My 3 little ones.
So everybody's healthy and tucked in at home right now.
That's right. I have a Rita Berkowitz event this Friday night, if folks are interested, and we have a couple of tickets left for that. She's great, a spirit artist.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's going to be at the center of Westwoods.
Which is a beautiful, beautiful place.
It's remarkable.
Fantastic.
Very healing.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, folks.
Well, thank you so much. Have a great evening.
See you next Sunday.
Give those kids a hug and a kiss.
We could make it together. The further from here, girl, the better. Where the air is fresh and clean.
All right, we're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be right back to talk about allergies, and stay right where you are.
WATD's Candida Mamet from Healthy Living Magazine presents the 7th annual LunaFest Film Festival. LunaFest is a national traveling festival of short films by, for, and about women. Each ticket sold raises money for Breast Cancer Fund and local nonprofit organizations. Join us Thursday, May 15th, 6 to 10 p.m. at the Duxbury Performing Arts Center. Tickets are $20 online, $25 at the door. To register, log on to healthylivingvideo.com or call 781-834-2728.
This segment is being sponsored by Good Health Natural Foods. Good Health is a well-established organic specialty food market as well as a vitamin and sports nutrition shop. Good Health is a family-owned business passionately committed to giving back to the neighborhoods of Boston and the South Shore. The Maturos and the entire Good Health family continue to make an indelible impact on the communities they serve. There are currently 2 extraordinary stores, 1627 Hancock Street, Quincy, Mass., and 219 Columbia Road, Route 53 in Hanover, Mass. For everything natural, organic, and wheat or gluten-free, it's Good Health Natural Foods, open 7 days a week. In Quincy, 617-773-4925. In Hanover, 781-826-0808. That's Good Health Natural Foods. Alrighty, welcome back in. And we were just having an interesting conversation about music. I didn't know that Catherine used to work in a recording studio out in Los Angeles. So small world, you know. We find things out all the time.
Yeah.
Great stuff. But back on topic here with regards to quercetin and allergies and all that stuff here.
Right.
You know, we mentioned also that this is really very much an issue of nutrition. Don't want to lose track of that. Mm-hmm. Yellow and red onions, not white onions. Shallots, red grapes, not white grapes. Broccoli, squash, garlic, of course. You know, but I think that the idea is that try to get this stuff in your foods. Mm-hmm. And the other thing I wanted to say about it is that quercetin has also been found to free up LDL cholesterol. Mm-hmm. So, you know, there are many different properties that we didn't even get to tonight, but it's really a multifaceted superstar of nutrition. It really is.
Yeah, quercetin is really dynamic. I mean, you really can't go wrong taking it. And
that's an important point, too. Virtually no side effects.
I know, and this is the thing with a lot of dietary supplements, and a lot of dietary supplements have only good side effects. Mm-hmm. You know, they have this one component, like NAC, you know, liver detox, and then there's this other component to it, you know, mucolytic upper respiratory.
Right,
a lot of dietary supplements have this going on for them, so you really benefit in so many different ways.
Well, and let's talk for a moment or two here. You mentioned when we talked with Bert about N-acetylcysteine, or let's just call it NAC for the average folk out there.
Well, NAC is actually in the PDR, the physician's desk reference.
I did not know that. I'm learning all kinds of things this year.
It's the only dietary supplement in the PDR, and it's listed in the PDR for acetaminophen toxicity. And acetaminophen is...
Because it detoxes the liver, right?
Yeah, it's aspirin. So...
No, I mean the NAC gets the toxic loads out.
Right, exactly. And acetaminophen, when it goes into your body, goes through I think it's detox pathway 2. Mm-hmm. And so what happens is if you have an overload of acetaminophen in the body, it can actually be toxic and fatal because your liver enzymes can't handle it. So you lose the liver enzyme capacity. Now the acetaminophen backs up and the salicylic acid, and you know, it becomes toxic to your system. So there's a very interesting case. It was maybe 4 years ago now, a young girl was at Children's Hospital, and they read her chart the wrong way, and they gave her an IV adult dose of acetaminophen, and she almost died, and it was in the news, and they were able to save her and, you know, brought her back. But guess what they did? They gave her intravenous N-acetylcysteine.
Are you serious?
Yeah, totally serious. So
wow.
So this is one of those, in those emergency type situations when somebody has a
toxin that's
toxin overload.
Yeah, so NAC is really a great way to go to detoxify that liver.
Yeah.
And in this case, too, we talked about it, I think, from a really interesting allergy perspective as a great aid to clear the lungs and the mucus linings for folks out there that may really get hammered with allergies at the respiratory level.
Right.
Good stuff. So let's talk about dose and
well, NAC, we have 2 types of NAC. We have N-acetylcysteine, sustained release. It's a bilayer tablet. So you release one half of it within the first hour, and then the other half over about 6 hours. So that's for people that need that coverage, you know, all-day coverage. And this product actually was really for people. one of the things, NAC was actually one of our first products as a company,